There we go. Alright, hey there everyone, Suri here, and welcome to this CYL viewing party. Kind of put it together last minute. Let me know if there's anything goofy going on with the resolution. I've been getting some warnings trying to set this up from YouTube, so hopefully it's all good and we can just get ready for a Fate channel in a couple of minutes. I've been looking forward to the CYL, honestly. I was really happy to see Tiki, adult Tiki, actually end up winning it. Even, I think I was rooting for Byleth over her. But it's going to be really nice to see the adult version of Tiki actually get some attention for once. I prefer her over the younger version. The young Tiki is adorable, but I don't know. Chrom, I'm worried about Chrom. He's gotten some very strong ults ever since his legendary version dropped, and we'll see. I hope they do something more interesting than just make him a green version of green version of Duochrom, but I guess we'll see. As long as he doesn't get changed fate, I think I'll be okay with them. Byleth, I'm also really curious to see what they do with. I'm not really sure. Currently, just ahead of the actual trailer and everything, I'm currently putting Byleth and Tiki both on my long-term merge project list. Oh, it's out. Awesome. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Aha, there it is. Alright, let's see if I can find it on YouTube so I can actually watch this properly. Aha, and there it is. So, I'm going to mute this for a moment, and then we'll just get watching. There we go.
Flap, 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 flap. Flap, 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 flap. Flap, flap. Faye.
Alright, Faye.
Hello, summoners. Did I just land on something? Faye, Faye, what could it be? Oh, that's right. As the mysterious calling card from the last video said, I, Faye, have made my grand return to introduce the latest Choose Your Legends heroes to all you summoners. It's time for a special Choose Your Legends edition of Faye Channel.
I'm just gonna turn this down
Let's get
a little
started.
bit. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got.
Ta-da! These are the illustrious heroes who climbed through the ranks to reach the number 1 and 2 spots in the men's and women's divisions of the Choose Your Legends Round 6 event. They clearly need no introduction, but I'll give them one anyway.
It's actually kind of crazy that Byleth was behind by more than anybody else. Oh, it is going to be this. Nice.
Presenting the runner-up
So this
from the
regalia
women's
Byleth.
division,
Oh, I'm glad.
it's Byleth from the Fire Emblem Three Houses game. Formerly a professor at the Officers Academy at
I love
Monastery,
this, actually.
she makes her
She's
arrival
great.
clad in
She looks so good.
mystical-looking garb based on Sothis' usual attire. If you ask me, Byleth takes the look and really makes it her own. But I wonder what Sothis would have to say about it. Her weapon, Inner Wellspring, grants her the no follow-up effect if she's within 2 spaces of an ally at the start of the turn. Plus,
And
if
Time's
she needs a
Pulse.
different
Oh,
set of
wow.
conditions, her stats increase during combat, and she can potentially trigger her special faster a second time. You'll definitely want her special to trigger, because when it does, its damage is boosted depending on her speed.
Oh, wow.
Also,
That
if she
Divine
doesn't
Pulse is
take her
actually
bow out
really
then and
good.
there, She'll take less damage from their next attack, and even deal increased damage on her following attack.
Oh, Byleth is really good.
To top it all off, when attacked by a ranged foe, Byleth can counterattack before their first attack if her speed is greater than theirs.
Oh wow!
Dagger, magic,
Speed-based
and stat users will be
advantage.
wise
That
to
is
think
really
twice
cool.
before stepping up to this powerful professor.
And no using this if you're a savior armor.
Dressed as my
Speed-based advantage.
father,
Wow.
nothing could honor me more.
Oh, Sigurd Sylph.
Now for the runner-up
Let's see if
from the
Sylph
men's
actually gets a
division,
good ult.
It's Sylph
Here's
from the
hoping.
Fire Emblem genealogy of the Holy War game. He's always dressed to the nines in stupendously chivalrous garb, but he's looking particularly gallant here. Having embraced Sigurd's legacy, he's ready to forge a path straight into the future, and look great doing it. His weapon, Holy Tide Tearfing, boasts an interesting effect.
Ooh.
It deals damage to his foe based in part on the number of
So he is a
spaces
cavalry.
moved by whoever initiated combat. The farther they
Oh.
moved, the higher the damage. A
Okay,
similar
that weapon's
effect
going to be
appears
very
again in Attack
neat.
Speed Clash 4, where it grants a bonus to his stats based on the number of spaces moved by whoever initiated combat.
Oh wow, that is a
The
lot
farther
of...
they moved, the
Wow.
higher the bonus. Clever use of
And
his
you can
weapon
neutralize
skills
penalties with
will
this too?
greatly boost his performance on the battlefield.
Now, is this a B skill?
The
No, it's an
Air
A
to
skill.
Light
Okay.
skill grants him stat boosts and allows him to move one extra space if he's near an ally at the start of the turn. Taken all together, the farther away the foe is, the more effective Sylph will be. So don't be afraid to go the distance.
And, oh jeez, he's a 4-movement cav.
Ever since I've come to Asker, I've met rather a lot of people.
Alright, Tiki.
So many of them are dear to me now.
Okay, it's not
I'm
Naga
so
Tiki.
excited because now I get to introduce the winner of the women's division. It's Tiki.
She looks really
from
good,
the Fire
actually.
Emblem Awakening game.
It's based on her
What a
young Tiki
pretty ribbon she's
clothes,
wearing.
which...
This ensemble is
I'm a
reminiscent
little
of the one she
disappointed
wore
by.
when she worked with Marth and Friends
Yes.
a long time
Yes,
ago.
it is.
I bet they'd all be pretty shocked to see her older self wearing this classic outfit now. Her weapon, Remote Breath, grants her stat boosts during combat if she's within 3 spaces of an ally. Not only does this skill make her special easier to trigger, but if she has a special that triggers when attacking, then she's granted special cooldown count -1 before she even attacks during combat.
So, in
That
combat,
means
special
she
acceleration.
can trigger her special in no time flat.
Oh, and
The attack
I think she has a
resistance for
pulse
this
smoke
core
in
skill
combat
has
too.
the same condition as her
I didn't
weapon.
see, but...
If she's within 3 spaces of an ally, she's granted stat boosts. And if she meets another set of conditions related to her special, she'll deal more damage during combat.
Oh...
Plus, any damage she deals
And this is,
will
I
cause
think,
her to
the
restore
first
7
time we
HP.
have an
Because her
inheritable
weapon makes her special
skill
so easy
that
to
isn't a
trigger,
special that
she
heals
should
you
have
in
no
combat.
trouble keeping her HP up. The new Divinity skill lowers her foe's stats if her HP is greater than or equal to 25%. And it prevents them from making a follow-up attack if her HP is greater than or equal to 40%. Plus,
okay.
it reduces damage from her
And
foe's
it's Dragon
attacks
Wall on
if
top.
her resistance is greater than theirs. These skills allow Tiki to withstand attacks and restore health. So this divine
That's
dragon
a
won't
really
be going
strong
down without a
combination.
fight.
Alright, Chrome. How badly
If
are
my
you
power
going to
can
break
be
the game
used to
this
promote
time?
Peace, then I will happily go wherever I am needed.
Oh, is he a lance this time?
Last, but certainly not least, here's the winner
He's
of
not
the
an
men's
archer.
division.
That's a
It's
plus.
Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening. Having risen to
Oh,
become
he's
ruler of the
taking
Least,
after brave
Chrom comes
Lucina,
equipped
isn't
with
he,
all
with
the
this?
trappings of a great lord, including the fabled Fire Emblem itself. That lance he has sure looks familiar, though. It kinda reminds me of the one his daughter Lucina carries. If he initiates combat or is near an ally, his weapon, Gairdrifle, grants an amount to all stats equal to 5 plus 2 times the number of bonus and penalty status effects active on him.
Oh. Oh, and he's
The
a
infantry
cavalry too.
speed tactic skill grants speed plus 6 to nearby allies, plus the null follow-up effect if they
Oh.
are infantry units at the start of the turn.
Interesting.
Let's
Oh
check out
no.
his a fate
He gets
changed
it.
skill. Fei Fei. I can't think of a more Crom-sounding name. Oh, this skill moves the target ally to his opposite side. And
Okay.
grants him another action
So
alongside
he
any
shares
bonuses
all
on the target
bonuses.
ally.
Oh, wow.
His skills work well in tandem to bring out the best in his weapon. It's so like Crom to protect his friends. And now he can charge forward
wow.
empowered like the true leader he is.
I wonder if that actually applies to non-stat
For more
bonuses.
details on these hero skills, keep an eye out for a video debuting after this Faye channel.
Definitely going to take a look at that and just have a better idea of what all of these skills do. There's a lot to process in there.
And of course,
Yep, we get one freebie.
this is a Choose Your Legend celebration.
I'm not sure who I'm
so
going
you'd
to...
better believe
Actually,
we're
I'm
holding
probably
a
going to end
free
up
summon
just
event. By
banking
summoning
my
on this
freebie
event,
for a long
you
time.
can add one of these heroes to your barracks for free.
I'm glad Byleth and Tiki
On
look
top
really
of
good.
that,
They were the
you'll
two
be
I
able
was
to
planning
choose a
on going
focus
for
hero
anyway,
to summon
so...
for free after summoning
Colorless
40
Mage
times
Byleth.
in the new hero
Excellent.
summoning event. And you can do it up to 4
And
times.
Green Mage and
That
Green
means
Dragon
you're
Tiki.
guaranteed to get all 4 focus heroes if
I
you
think that's
summon
the only color that
160
Tiki
times.
hasn't been yet as a dragon. She's
you can
gotten,
also get
if you include
Celestial
the young
Stone after
versions.
40 summons, up to 4 times. The New Heroes Weave of Fate summoning event begins August 17th, so be sure to check it out. Oh,
okay.
and don't forget
So,
that the free
the usual
Summon
stuff.
a New Future event that
Oh.
features the top heroes from Choose Your Legends Round 4 will be ending on August 30th.
Oh, yes. Okay, so
Remember
this
to
is the
summon
one
of
from
these
2 years
heroes
ago
so
that's
they can
ending.
join the fray. Speaking of heroes joining the fray, it's
Gerald
time
to
to
the
reveal
Grand
next
Hero
Grand
battle?
Hero.
Oh, yes!
Hey, would you look at that? It's Gerald from
Okay,
Fire
I'm really
Emblem
happy
Three
with this one.
Houses. He's the former
Hopefully
captain
they
of
don't-
the Knights of Saros.
Hopefully
After
they don't
leaving
do a
that
Peleus
post,
to him.
Gerald
Okay, they
moved on
didn't.
to head
Good.
a band of mercenaries and travel the world.
He has
He's
his own
also
weapon.
Violet's father. Do you think he came to congratulate her on ranking so high in the Choose Your Legends event?
Oh, Gerald's in.
Whatever the reason
I'm
for
so
his
glad he's
appearance,
free. I'm
the
so
Grand
glad he's
Hero
free.
battle with
And he's got
Gerald's
a
Blade
preferred
Breaker
weapon, which is
begins
very
on
good.
August 18th.
A lot better than poor Peleus last year.
What did you think of this year's outfits? There's no shortage of amazing skills either. I can't wait
Art-wise,
to see
honestly,
the
I
Choose
think I
Your
like
Legends
Byleth's
heroes
the
and
most.
Gerald in battle when they storm onto the scene soon. Now
Tiki
then,
looks good.
Next up
I'm a
is...
bit disappointed that they went with a young Tiki look for adult Tiki, but that's okay.
Beginning August 16th Pacific.
Yep,
there'll be
okay.
increasing the
Fully
number of
expected,
times you can
but
improve
oh
heroes
jeez.
using dragon flowers. As shown here,
Nobody
the
has
number
enough
of
of
times a hero
these.
can be improved will increase by 5 beyond the current limit. You'll need 40 dragon flowers to improve beyond the current limit. And the number needed to improve
And
after
it's
that
600
will
dragon
increase
flowers
by
total
40
still.
each time. Oh, that reminds me. Dragon flowers will be
Oh?
available as a special reward in the next Forging Bonds event.
Okay, I
Weave
can
of Fate.
absolutely
You
appreciate
can
this.
earn
That's really
1,000
good.
of each of the 4 types, which means you can get a grand total of 4,000 dragon flowers. Get out there and win some battles.
Hey,
so you
1,000
can
extra
beef up
dragon
your
flowers is something
heroes.
I can absolutely get behind.
Whew, that's all for today, summoners.
Okay, so it's a
I
pretty
hope
short
you had as
channel.
much fun getting a sneak peek at the latest round of Choose
Crom's
Your
art looks
Legends
pretty
heroes
good.
as I
I
did.
do like it, and I
I'm sure
actually
they're
love
grateful
that
for the support you
he's
showed with your votes.
kind of
And I
taking a
bet
lot
they're
of
eager to
cues
show off
from
their new
Brave
skills
Lucina
and
for
attire.
his
Thanks for
output.
tuning in, and I hope you continue to enjoy the Fire
They
Emblem
look really good.
Heroes game. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Okay, so let me go and find... Let's see. Should be able to find the new trailer as well shortly. Oh, I guess it's not out. So, until it's actually out, we'll just do some rewinding and check on these, see what else we can figure out about them. So Byleth, I think, is a colorless infantry
These
mage.
faces of an ally.
Colorless Infantry Mage Byleth with Slaying grants... She can... Okay, so she has no follow-up in her weapon as long as she starts within a couple of spaces of an ally. And... Oh, okay, so not only does she times pulse herself in combat... At the... okay, so... Her special is a 2-charge baseline, goes down to 1 because of Slaying, and if it's at maximum value at the start of combat... Or, no, okay, it's at the start of the turn, I think. Yeah, okay, so it's at the start of the turn, she times pulses, and gives herself no follow-up. Then in combat she gets stats, and also a post-combat times pulse. Okay. So basically once you get her going, she's always going to be using this special.
At the start of the turn. Plus,
honestly, this isn't a weapon that's too out of line compared to the current weapons that we're getting, which I appreciate. It's not that big of a step of power creep. And that's a good thing. So this is a speed-based special that also includes almost a Fallen Star level of damage reduction. I wonder if this counts as... I wonder if this can beat Deadeye, actually. That's going to be very interesting to see, because it is technically a special that gives damage reduction. So this could actually beat Deadeye and lethality. Huh. Okay, she might actually end up being horrifyingly strong thanks to this. Especially when you combine it with that speed-based advantage she gets.
Damage is boosted depending on her speed.
And then she basically gets the same special again,
and even deal increased damage on her following
with
attack.
more true damage on the following attack. That's honestly really strong, especially, like I said, with this speed-based advantage.
Byleth can counterattack before their first attack if her speed is greater than theirs. Bow, dagger, magic, and staff users would
Yeah,
be wise
it's
to think
interesting
twice
that they
before stepping
didn't
up to this
specify
powerful
that in her
professor.
special.
Dressed as my father, nothing could honor me more.
I guess we'll see in a couple of days, pretty quickly, if it loses to Deadeye.
From the men's division, it's Seliph from the Fire Emblem genealogy
I
of the
don't know
Holy
how well
War
she'll
game.
do in, like,
He's always
specifically
dressed
in
to the
anima
nines in
defense because of
stupendously
Elamine.
chivalrous garb. But he's looking particularly gallant here. Having embraced Sigurd's legacy, he's ready to forge a path straight into the future. And look great doing it.
In light weeks, though,
His
she might
weapon,
end up
Holy
being
Tide
really hard to
Tearful,
handle.
boasts an interesting effect.
Okay, so Seliph's got Kento 2, which is actually just really, really good. It's basically Erika's Kento as well, so about the same as usual. Also has a slaying weapon. Okay. So up to 40% of his opponent's defense as true damage. And that's just every swing as well, so every hit he does can do up to 40% true damage. That's... that's almost a free Luna on every hit. That's a lot, actually. That can hit very, very hard. And he also has Miracle. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
It deals damage to his foe based in part on the number of spaces
He has
moved by
Celica's
whoever
Miracle,
initiated
actually.
combat. The farther they moved, the higher the damage.
So he has Celica's Miracle along
similar
with
effect
true
appears
damage based
again
on
in
defense,
attack speed
also
/
based on
4,
movement, and this
where it
isn't a
grants a bonus
skill.
to his stats based
So same conditions as the weapon, and up to 10 attack and speed, depending on how much people have moved. Usually you're not going to hit 10, but it's pretty consistently going to be... This is actually just going to be a really strong skill. As long as that movement is 2, you neutralize your attack and speed penalties, and then also get 8 attack and speed in combat. That's a very strong skill, and inheritable.
Spaces moved by whoever initiated combat.
I wonder what the
Again,
restrictions
the
will be
farther
for
they
that
move,
inheritance.
The higher the bonus.
I
Clever
think
use of
that's
his
going
weapon
to be
and
off
skills
limits
will
for
greatly boost
armors,
his performance on the
but I
battlefield.
could see it being just an
The
armors being
air-to-light
excluded
skill grants
from
him
that.
stat boosts and allows him to move 1 extra space if he's near an ally at the start of the turn. Taken
So,
all
a
together,
lot like
the
Sigurd,
farther
he
away the
moves
foe
4
is, the more
spaces.
effective Seliph will be. So don't be afraid to go the distance.
4 space
Ever
movement
since I've
and
come to
Kanto
Asuka,
is actually
I've
going
met
to do
rather
a
lots of
lot of work
people.
for him.
So many of them are dear to me now.
I'm so excited because now I get to introduce the winner of the women's division. It's Tiki from the Fire Emblem Awakening game. What a pretty ribbon she's wearing.
Her art
This ensemble
is so
reminiscent
well
of the
done,
one
but
she
I just
wore
wish
when
they'd
she
given
worked
her a
with
different
Marth and
outfit.
Friends a long
I
time
really do.
ago. It now.
Okay,
Her weapon.
so her weapon
Then
has a
remote-
lot in it. So slaying, along with... Yeah, slaying, effective versus dragons, so the basic Tiki stuff. Stats, auto follow-up, and an offensive special, not defensive special based effect that... Right, okay, so Tiki's the one who does the in-combat pulse. Byleth has an out-of-combat times pulse. Okay, so it's a little bit like young Ike here, where before her first attack, she'll pulse herself down by 1, and then swing. It's not quite as strong as Ike's, since Ike's is typically going to do 2 charges at once, but still, depending on what special you give her, especially with the slaying, that does a lot of work. This second part, though, is actually one of the strongest parts of her entire kit, so if she beats the res check, then she actually does an in-combat pulse smoke to her opponent before they get to attack at all. So you can't actually... you can't really do much about using specials against this Tiki. She's going to fight you and you're not going to get to use a special against her. That's actually really, really big. Since this actually just activates whenever they attack, it doesn't matter if they're attacking before her or after her, as long as she has 5 more res than them. There you go. It doesn't work on defensive specials, so she might have problems with Pavis and Miracle, but to be honest, those aren't usually the things that are going to threaten her anyway. Yeah.
Breath grants her stat boost
That is a
during
very
combat
solid
if
weapon.
she's within 3 spaces of an ally.
I'm actually
Not
really
only
glad to
does
see,
the
though,
skill
that
make her
these
special
weapons
easier to
aren't
trigger,
increasing
but
the
if she
weapon
has a
budget
special that
the way
triggers
that
when
they did
attacking,
last
then
CYL.
she's granted special cooldown count -1 before she even attacks during combat. That means she can trigger her special in no time flat.
She also has
The
Defrez
attack
Menace.
resistance finish
Very
4
neat.
skill has the same condition as her weapon.
Okay. So within 3 spaces, you get 7 attack res. Okay. So she wants to have a pre-charged special, or to attack first. Or both. So basically, if you start a combat when she has her special charged, she gets +5 true damage on every hit, and also 7 health restored on every hit. Ooh, that's a very strong skill. I would like the attack speed version of this for my legendary Dimitri.
If she's within 3 spaces of an ally,
Yeah,
she's
I am
granted stat
disappointed by the
boosts.
choice of outfit
And
for
if she
her.
meets
Her
another
artwork
set
is
of
still
conditions
gorgeous,
related to her
but
special, she'll
I'm
deal more
disappointed by the
damage
choice of
during
outfit.
combat. Plus, any damage she deals will cause her to restore 7 HP. Because her weapon makes her special so easy to trigger, she should have no trouble keeping her HP up.
Yeah, it
The
works
new
really well with her
divinity
weapon.
skill lowers her foe's stats if her HP is greater than or equal to 25%.
Yeah, and this one is basically Dragon Wall with some extra stats added in, and potential for follow-up prevention. Doesn't her weapon gives her a guaranteed follow-up, right? Let's see. Yes, so she gets a guaranteed follow-up and follow-up prevention in the same kit. So she's probably dumping speed. Actually, we can check that, can't we? I think we saw the stats somewhere in here. Where is it? There it is. Oh, wow, yeah. So she dumps her speed pretty hard, but the rest of her stats are just very solid. That should be 37 base defense and 41 base res, with 43 base attack. Yeah, she's going to be really good. And, of course, Chrom. Chrom is probably just going to end up being a menace. Again, as usual. He does have armor slaying built into this weapon, so that's always a plus. He does not get cav slaying at the same time, so Erica's not quite power crept entirely. So this sounds like he's not actually looking at the stat numbers that are active on the unit. He's looking at the different bonus effects. So things like null follow-up, null panic, those sorts of things are the ones that are going to actually improve these stat bonuses. That's a very interesting take. They've been adding a lot of these over time, so it's really neat to see a weapon that actually takes advantage of that. He gets 5 baseline, and there's no cap to this, so depending on how many extra effects you can load into him, that can be a very, very solid pile of stats. Okay, and he also has a 40% block on the first swing and a full breath effect, as long as he has a bonus active.
Times the number of bonus and penalty status effects active on him. The infantry
This
speed
is
tactic
actually a
skill
really
grants speed
cool
+6
skill
to nearby
too,
allies,
since
plus
he
the
is a
null
cavalry
follow-up
unit
effect
himself,
if they are infantry units
but
at the
this
start
is
of
an
the turn.
inheritable skill that you can give to, I imagine, to anybody. I don't see this thing actually having restrictions, and this just gives null follow-up to every infantry ally within 2 spaces. But both of these are still limited by the basic tactic requirement. So if you have more than 2 infantry on the team, they're not getting speed or null follow-up. This is going to be a fantastic support skill on AR teams, though, especially for offense. It's going to be very, very strong.
Plus the null follow-up effect if they are infantry units at the start of the turn. Let's check out his...
Alright, and his last piece. So it's Change Fate, basically. It's the same reposition. And it lets him copy bonuses from the ally he repositions and give them to himself. And his pair-up, if any. So basically, this is a great way to let him turbocharge his weapon by letting somebody else activate things like speed smoke or attack smoke, get those effects for himself,
target ally to his
and
opposite
then
side,
also go
and
in
grants
with
him
those
another
with all the
action
extra
alongside
stats.
any bonuses
It
on the
also,
target
like they're
ally.
actually demonstrating
His skills
here,
work well in
lets him
tandem to
steal
bring out
the
the
null
best in his
follow-up that
weapon.
he's giving
He's
other
so
people,
like Crom to protect his
and
friends.
actually use that
And
as a
now he can
cavalry unit.
charge forward, empowered like the true leader he is.
Surge Sparrow and Speed Def
For
Trace.
more
Oh, that's a
details on these
very
hero skills,
solid kit.
keep an eye out for a video debuting after this FEH channel.
Alright. I'm liking these, honestly, and I think the thing I like most about them is that they don't seem to be bulking up the weapon budget again, the way they did last year. Last year, I think it was Marth specifically who caught my eye as how many effects did they manage to pack into this one person? And I'm glad they didn't do that this time. These all seem pretty in tune with the recent releases of characters we've gotten in the last little while, and I'm really glad that they didn't end up increasing that even more. I'm not seeing the actual trailer for these units yet, so it's unfortunate.
And of course,
I wonder what else.
Captain of the
Hold on,
Knights
let's
of
see.
Zeros.
What else did Gerald get?
after leaving that post,
So he's got AD Catch and Distant Guard. So, not the best in terms of inheritable skills. I think we have both of those in the Grail pool already, too, so kinda there. But at least he did get a preferred weapon, which is a lot better than they did with Peleus last year. I think art-wise, I like Byleth the most. She looks so good here. Tiki's is really well done. I like Crom and Seliph too. All the art is really good. Tiki, I just... I've said it a couple of times, but I really wish they hadn't gone with young Tiki as her outfit. It's... could have been better. Alright. So, I don't know, anybody else have any thoughts about this? I don't know who everyone's planning to pull for. I think I'm still going to be going for Byleth myself and Tiki as my primary ones, and we'll see about... I'll probably end up picking up a Crom and Seliph along the way. I'm planning currently to Spark twice. And, yeah. At least, that's the current plan. I should have enough orbs to spark all 4 times if I end up really wanting to push for it. And I might, especially since it would let me just get a Crom and Seliph for free along the way, while just focusing on Tiki and Byleth. And I actually really wouldn't mind getting an extra Crom just for that speed tactic. He is, isn't he? He's actually, that's a great comparison. For anyone who hasn't been playing Xenoblade 3, Signifer's a class in that game that basically works by spreading buffs around the entire party. Crom kind of does that, but he's a little bit more selfish about it. He only gives them to himself, so... There are a lot of extra effects in the game, though, at this point that you can make work with that. I'm just trying to think of all of them offhand. We've got Null Follow-Up, +1 movement, Null Panic, On Guard, Null... Oh, there are also all of the extra... Also, all of the extra things that you can get from duo skills. Oh. I wonder if the basic duo and the basic harmonic buffs count for that as well. I don't think they do. I don't think they count as bonuses. Art-wise, I personally like the way Byleth looks the best. Art's very subjective though, and I think everyone's going to have favorites. All of the artwork in this set is really, really well done. Gameplay-wise, I'm not sure. I'll have to see once they come out, I think. See exactly how they all do. They're all combat units this time. So it's really going to be interesting to see how they all work out. Byleth really does seem like she could be strong, especially if that special works against Deadeye and lethality, since that would make it extremely difficult to actually kill her in combat, as long as she goes in and gets to use that special before her opponent can attack her. She actually seems like she's pretty set up to be a ranged specialist with a near-safe bodyguard, since the Vantage works against ranged opponents. And yeah, as long as she gets to land that special, the mini spiral after her combat too is just absolutely crazy. That's so good for her. Yeah, I think as long as you can give her a way to heal, either with a Mystic Boost in the Seal, or if that new A skill that heals is accessible for ranged units, either one of those should make her absolutely, just an absolute menace to deal with. I think it's honestly going to be tricky to say which one of these is going to age the best, though. Again, they're all combat units, and I mentioned this, I think, in last year's FEH channel, that combat units tend to age worse than supports overall. They'll basically always be relevant, as long as you're willing to commit resources to them. And I do think all four of these look like they have the tools they need to be relevant for a long time. Seliph actually might end up being more relevant than most, because, well, being able to just hit for 40% of his opponent's defense as true damage, every hit, is a lot. That does a lot of extra damage. His only problem, honestly, is just going to be running into damage reduction, since Melee doesn't currently have a way to punch through any damage reduction effects, so you can mitigate that at least a little bit. But as we've seen with things like Dimitri's Atrocity, getting a sizable chunk of true damage per hit is always going to leave a mark. I think Chrom is potentially going to end up being a wildly powerful stat ball, if you can set him up properly. Because he works really well with an ally that carries things like Speed Smoke, or that can give him dodge. He can also give himself null follow-up, or his allies null follow-up. So if, hypothetically, you have a if you have a Guinevere, where's my Guinevere? There she is. So if you have a Guinevere who's got Speed Smoke, and you have a Chrom who donates null follow-up to her with his native speed tactic, then she goes in and initiates on somebody with null follow-up and Speed Smoke as bonus effects. And then if Chrom moves in and uses his remixed Change Fate, he then gets both of those effects and gets +4 to stats on top of having those effects, because he gets 2 stats for every bonus effect he has. And that just gets even more ridiculous when you combine it with things like, let's see, Ashura, or even a remixed Azura for Null Panic. You can get another 2 and even more stuff from Medius, actually, thanks to On Guard. There's a lot you can do with Chrom. I'm trying to figure out what the upper limit is. It doesn't have a cap, and I think that is probably the most eye-opening part of his weapon, is that there's no upper limit to that. If you can stack those bonuses high enough, he can just get potentially like 25 to every stat from his weapon. He's definitely going to be something to look at. He's going to be very hard to deal with, I think, if he's got the proper setup. Yeah, the new distant counter for Dragon Seal is looking like it'll be an excellent choice for Tiki. I'm a bit surprised they didn't introduce a new Dragon exclusive special for her. but at the same time, that's fine. It just means that she can benefit from that whenever they do release one. And I'm pretty sure we'll see one eventually. It's definitely a movement type that could, or weapon type, rather, that could use a fun special to play with. Yeah, there's some very good stuff in there. I actually really do like this overall as a CYL. Now, if they could just post the actual trailer, I'd like to actually watch that on stream too for you guys. Just to see exactly what all of these kits look like. I'm really, I want to figure out exactly how high you can push Chrome's stats. It's... Oh, that's right, and then Fallen Minion can give Breath as a bonus. Oh, wait. Okay, so you can do something very silly here with Fallen Minion. If you have Fallen Minion dance a dragon, an infantry dragon, who also gets the null follow-up tactic from Chrom, that is null follow-up, breath, and +1 movement all at the same time. So if he repositions that dragon infantry, he is getting +11 to stats from his weapon, and that's just with 3 units involved and no extra skills. You can crank that up to +13 if that infantry dragon is also carrying, let's say, attack smoke and attacks before Chrom repositions them. And that's right, he does get breath in his weapon, as long as he has a bonus, so I guess that part's not necessary. But, even though he does get breath in his weapon, this still adds another +2 to stats. So, this specifically might not do much, but it's just an extra layer of stat that he wouldn't have otherwise. Attack Smoke is definitely a really good one. Just being able to deny follow-ups, and actually though, I do think that Dodge is going to be his best one. Oh, you know, he would actually work really well with Fallen Lilith, wouldn't he? Since Lilith can just give him the null follow-up for free, and she has, well, mine's not using it here, but she has Speed Smoke by default, and has a really easy time just initiating on something and deleting it. So you can have her go in, break something, and then have Chrom reposition her, and that gives him null follow-up and dodge at the same time, with little to no effort. And then you actually free up his C slot as well, since he wouldn't even need the tactic anymore. Oh, there's a lot of silly things you can do with Chrom. I like it. I like it a lot. There's some good things in this CYL. I think I'm probably going to be holding on to my free pull. I've actually held on to last year's free pull all the way here. As another reminder, if anyone missed that, heads up, if you haven't taken the free pull from the year before this one, the one with Brave Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, and Lysithia, make sure you do that before this next banner goes live, because you don't want to miss out on your freebie. For free picks, for anybody who's actually going to be using their free pick immediately, just as a one-off for this banner, I don't know if there's going to be a clear winner in this batch. I think the best free pick for anybody, it's going to vary a lot based on your barracks and what you have available. Last CYL, I actually predicted that Gatekeeper was going to age the best out of the entire batch, and I think that that's actually been a pretty correct prediction. I think Gatekeeper has aged best out of all 4 of these. And not necessarily as a merge project, but just because the support he offers is so strong. You just need 1 copy of him and he can shut down Wings of Mercy approaches, he can shut down Catria setups, And he doesn't have to be a combat unit on his own. All he has to do is sit there and support the combat units on his team. It's funny, actually, because I worked him into my anima defense a little while ago, and it's done a lot of work, honestly. We actually had a 0 lift loss week this past week, and I did actually record those defenses because I figure a 0 lift loss week is rare enough that I should. Dark defense still needs work right now. Pathfinder would be something that you'd have to actually get from the smoke skill. He can't actually just take Pathfinder from the weapon because it's not a bonus baseline. So if you wanted to actually steal Pathfinder as a bonus, and you could do that, you would have to go find that skill from, let's see, this banner. I think it was Layla, right? With Defres Smoke. So if you do have Defres Smoke available, you can actually have Crom steal Pathfinder, and that can get out of hand very quickly. But you won't be able to steal Pathfinder from a base dagger or just from a weapon, because those effects aren't bonuses. Let me find a random dagger. There we go. Dagger. Yeah. So this version of Pathfinder isn't a bonus. It's just a passive part of the weapon. So it's active all the time, but you don't have the ability to copy it with Crom. That's a very good catch, though. I didn't actually end up pulling on that banner, and I'm probably not going to, since CYL is about to take most of my orbs, and then the Harmonica Zero rerun is probably going to take most of the rest. Since I would like to get mine to +10 on this rerun, which is at +8 right now, and I've been waiting for this rerun specifically to get her there. So, it'll be fun. Yeah, there's actually a lot of fun stuff going on with the CYL, and I really appreciate that they did not push the power creep too far in this one. There are obviously a lot of fun new effects to play around with, but they didn't push these weapons past what the current releases are, and actually, if anything, they were fairly safe with them. If we just go over and look at Asker, let's see, where is Asker at? Here he is. Cowdad. I think actually Asker's weapon is on par with, or potentially even better than, some of these new weapons. Which, again, I am completely okay with. I'm glad that they didn't push that envelope too much further with this set. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Let's see. Do we have a trailer yet? Come on. Nintendo. No. Okay, they don't. So, I probably won't end up watching that here. I think I've covered most of the stuff that they've put in these, so that's well good enough. Definitely planning to pull for Tiki and Byleth. Personally, I'm going to be going green and colorless on this banner. I don't know how far I'm going to go on it. Probably just going to wait and see exactly how many copies of them I get by the second spark. Since I'd rather just pull for them on the Hero Fest next year. Assuming they continue doing that, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. But yeah, some good stuff. I do like this CYL set, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they work. I don't know if I'm going to end up working them onto my defenses, but I can definitely see some shenanigans being pulled on offense with Tiki and Byleth going forwards. I'm looking forward to using them a lot. So, I'm also planning to host a summoning session in a couple of days, just as a bit of a celebration party for hitting 500 subscribers. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have that scheduled either later tonight or sometime tomorrow. And we'll see how many copies of the new characters we can get. Should be fun. But yeah, thanks for joining me for this viewing party, and feel free to comment and let me know what you think about these new units in the comments afterwards. And I hope you have some good luck pulling for them, if you are planning to. Just remember too that sparking multiple times on this banner is really tempting, but I don't think it's necessary, especially if you're trying to +10 someone over time. If you're just trying to summon for +10 right away, by all means go for it, but the Hero Fests tend to be a much better way to actually get them to +10, and CYL units do tend to also get many reruns, both by being voted in for the normal reruns and from remix banners and legendary and mythic banners. Of course, the Hero Fests, they show up a lot. And there's always more banners around the corner to look forward to, so don't spend all your orbs. Other than that though, yeah. Hope everyone has some good luck on their summons, and I hope you've enjoyed the first impressions of this banner. I think they're all really good, to be honest. And I'm glad to see that. I'm glad nobody seems like a genuine loser out of this batch. And they've done pretty well with that overall. Even if I think a lot of people were really underwhelmed by Marianne last year, but she was very solid, frankly. It's a shame that she also carries null follow-up, time spells, and attack speed unity, because that fodder combination is just too good. Sorry, Marianne. It's actually, you know, Days, that's a really good point. It seems like a very easy upgrade to Sirius, the way it is right now. I don't know if they'll give it to her, but I could see that being an inspiration for her remix, and similarly, I can absolutely see to Change Fate 2 taking a lot of effects out of this new Chrom's Change Fate skill. Or, a Fate Changed, I'm sorry. It's not Change Fate. It's good stuff. Looking forward to pulling on this banner and experimenting with the new units. So, like I said, good luck with your own summons, and I hope to see anyone who's interested in how hopefully not tragic my luck will be on the summoning session in a couple of days, since I will be live streaming that, and we're probably going to go through at least 500 orbs on that banner. Just, you know, 500 subscriber special, if I can actually English properly. So yeah, it'll be a good time. So, till next time, good luck with the game, your matches, your summons, and hope you enjoy yourselves. Take care, and I will see you all next time.